Hi everyone, it's Vanessa from Creative Recruiters and welcome to my lunch today. We're going to talk about how to upload a great portfolio and what we as recruiters and in turn employers are looking for when we look at your portfolio. So the first thing I wanted to discuss with you is just tell you about the process of what we go through to look for portfolios and what we're looking for in graphic designers, art directors, copywriters, and creative directors. So when we are looking for a candidate, we have a look through your CV and we see what types of companies that you've been working for. If that ticks the list of what's needed, then we will go and have a look at your portfolio. Now, as you know, most of your portfolios are on the website, so we go and have a look through that. And then we see if the artwork and all the work on the portfolios is actually matching up with what you have listed in your CV. And I think a lot of the things that I find is that the companies that you've been working for in the past and the work that we see is not the same. And I think that's what I really want to talk about today and how you can actually portray that. And the thing about your portfolio is that, you know, compared to other positions, you usually are selling yourself in other positions. But what you need to do as a graphic artist or creative director or copywriter or art director or digital director or digital designer is that you have to sell yourself via a portfolio. So my recommendation of how to have a good portfolio is to have at least 4 or 5 of your favorite artwork and the favorite work that you've done up there at the front to showcase what you are most proud of and to really show what you're capable of. But what is really super important is to show what you have done in the past. And my suggestion would be not to have all of that work on the website all at one, you know, all listed there together, because it's just so difficult for me as a recruiter and also for the client to actually go through and see all that work. And especially if you're coming in as a senior creative, to go through all the work that you've done in the past is just going to take us way too long. So my recommendation would be to put 4 or 5 of your favorite pieces of work there as the hero work, and then list underneath that what you have already done. So if you've worked on logos, do a folder there that just has logos, and you can put all your logos in there. If there's brochures that you've worked on, put a title in there saying brochures and all the brochures that you've worked on. And the list goes on. If you've done finished artwork or you've done retouching or you've done copywriting, put it in those folders so we can go straight in there and see the breadth of work that you have done. Another way of doing it, if you have worked for many different clients but you've always worked in one job role, is to list it by industry. So perhaps you have done a whole lot of work with one agency that was for automotive, then list it under automotive. If you've worked for another agency or for another client that's FMCG, list all of the FMCG work that you've done, or fashion, or sportswear, whatever it may be. But it just makes so much more sense to list it in categories than to have everything there at one point for us to look at. It's just too much to look at. And you know, as you know, you are a creative. It needs to be presented in such a way that we can actually see it. Now, also the other thing that I have come across while I've been looking through portfolios is work that has been done by somebody else. It's actually in somebody's portfolio. This actually happened to me. I worked on a global client about 5 years ago in the Netherlands, and the work was showcased by somebody here in Melbourne saying they had done the creative concept, the retouching, the photography and everything. And I think you as a creative would know how horrible that actually was for me to see somebody else saying that that's their work. Now, I know in the industry that we're in, especially with design agencies and advertising agencies, there are many people that bring a great creative idea to life. You've got the copywriter, you've got the photographers, you've got the designers, you've got the retouchers, you've got the finished artists. Now, you only may be one of those people that are in that list, and that's fine. You can still showcase the work there, but say what you did for that. Were you the copywriter? Were you the retoucher? Were you the finished art person? Show the work, but clearly state what your role was in that work. For this particular position that I was in the other week when I saw my work, it was something that was rolled out globally for an automotive client. So what I would have done in the position of that person's portfolio is say that you actually redid the work here for the Australian market. You either redid the copy or the layout or whatever, but say what you did in it. Don't say that it's your work, because you don't know who's going to look at your work from around the world, and you know what it's like. If you see somebody else's work that's yours, that's in their portfolio, it's a horrible place to be. And unfortunately for that candidate, I will never want to work with them again. So that's not a good thing to do. But just be honest in your part of how you made that work, because as I said before, there's so many people that bring together the actual piece of work. Now, the other thing that I wanted to talk about is where you should place your work. Ideally, we would love it to be on the website, so sending us through a link. But sometimes people don't have websites and they need to send through a PDF of the work that they have worked on. Again, I would go back to what I said earlier and file it or present it in such a way that it's easy to see. And again, it's not just us looking through absolutely everything. So again, if you have your 2 or 3 pieces of artwork that you're really, really proud of and you want to be the hero, then list them first. Then maybe go through it and again, either go by industry or go by how you did it, and just showcase the breadth of work that you have done underneath that. Ideally, in a perfect world, what we would really look for is work being showcased on the website, and then if you were going to be presented to a particular client working for a particular industry, then we would get you to do a separate PDF showcasing that. So we could show the client the breadth of all the work that you have done, but then we would do something specific for that particular client, for that particular job, whether it's freelance or whether it's permanent. And I think everything that I've talked about here today, doesn't matter if it's for freelance work or if it's for permanent work, it relates to everything. It's us judging you on what we can see. And, the real reason that I wanted to talk about this is because, as I said, I looked at candidates and I looked at where they worked, and the work and the folio just weren't matching. And you can miss out on jobs. You can miss out on your dream job if it's not presented properly. And look, I know I've been working in the advertising industry for 25 years. You guys are working in the advertising industry for a long time. The main priority is always to get the work out for the clients. But you have to spend that time on the weekend. You have to spend that time after hours updating stuff. And also another question that came through from various candidates is, I didn't put on that work because it's so old. Yeah. Fine. I mean, I understand that you didn't get to where you are today from not doing anything or only doing the fantastic stuff that you've done in the last couple of years. But again, to see how much work you have done and what you're capable of, you do need to show that past work. Again, as I said, just label it as such that this was done in, 2005 or 2008 or whatever it is, and we will take it for that. We will take it that, the work may have been a little bit out of date and not up to the industry standards at the moment. But, we're all human. We know that we're going to see work that is done from a long time ago and that you have moved on from that. So be proud of what you've done, you know, be proud of the work that you're putting up there and label it as such. If it's old or if you are only involved in a small part of it, then just label it as such. I just want to see as much work there as I can to ascertain your ability to go into an agency and get a fantastic job. Now, another couple of questions that came up, well, you know, what is the best platform to showcase your portfolio? Personally, I love Wix, wix.com. They have so many different templates there for creatives showcasing their work, from photographers to designers to creative directors. They're all there. And they're beautiful. They really are beautiful to look at, and you know, that's part of my job, which I love. I love looking through all the beautiful work. If you are a senior creative and you have quite a lot of videos, then I would recommend design.net. Design.net gives you a lot of templates where you can actually showcase the TVCs or perhaps the radio work that you have worked on. So depending on which category you're in and what you want to showcase, have a look at those couple of websites and just see what fits you. You know, you have to be, you're a creative. You're going to want to have your work shown the way that you want to have it shown. So you decide how you want to do it. You're the creative, not me. I'm not going to tell you what to do or how it should look. That's why you are where you are now. So, and look, I just wanted to reiterate with all of this that it can be for designers, it can be for art directors, copywriters, branding, design work, digital work, you know, above the line, below the line. And this is showcasing your work for freelance jobs, for permanent jobs, for contract jobs. I think I just want to sign off by saying again that you really, there's no other way to showcase you besides that portfolio. So that portfolio really has to, you know, wow us in turn, so that we can actually wow the clients on your behalf. So look, I really hope you've enjoyed the lunchtime chat with me today. If you have any more questions, you can leave the questions down here. We'll get back to you and answer them then. Or you can send me a message, email me. My email address is vanessa@creativerecruiters.com.au. And I just want to let you know that we are always looking for freelance and permanent designers, art directors, and digital designers. So please stay tuned on our website, creativerecruiters.com.au, and also stay tuned on Facebook. We list a lot of our jobs every week on Facebook, giving little videos. So thank you for spending lunchtime with me today. I've really enjoyed it. I hope that you've got something out of that, and I hope to meet you in the future and see a fabulous portfolio that I'm wowed about and can go and tell the client that I'm wowed about. So thanks again for joining me today.